Hi there, hope you are doing alright and welcome back to my channel. This is where I talk about music production, gear, other general nerdiness. Today we are going to install Ubuntu Linux and we are also going to install the Chia Blockchain software. You can follow this guide. You will have chapters down below here, so you can skip to the part where you need some more assistance. Basically follow the video. Obviously you need a computer. So I assume you have a suitable computer already ready to go with hardware connected, hard drives, maybe an internet connection. That's really good to have. You also need a USB stick, like so. You need to load Ubuntu Linux onto this USB drive like this, and we are going to put this one into the computer you are going to install Ubuntu Linux on. And you need a computer where you can make this installable USB drive from. It could be a Macintosh, it could be a Windows PC, or yeah, something like that. So let's begin, shall we? Let's begin creating the installation USB drive. So the first thing we want to do is to download Ubuntu Linux. So we go to our trusty Google and we type Ubuntu desktop. Maybe we can type ISO. The first hit here on Google, go into there and we get straight to the download page. As the recording of this video, it's Ubuntu 20 something. LTS stands for long-term support, so they are going to release security patches and updates for it until April 2025. So you just go ahead and click the download button. It will take a while, depending on your internet connection, of course. And when it's downloaded, it will probably be in your download folder here, and the file is called Ubuntu version number desktop AMD 64. And don't mind if you have an Intel system, the AMD 64 will still work on a Intel 64-bit system. It's just the way it's named. Now we have the ISO file here, a USB stick here. Now we need to create a USB bootable drive. So you have instructions here on the Ubuntu website where it will give you some instructions on how to do that. So here it says how you can create a bootable USB stick on Windows or how you can create a bootable USB stick on macOS. So we are going to select Windows and you have some instructions here and you can go through them yourself. I'm not going to go through everything here, but we need a software called Rufus and there's a link to that here. Click on that link and we get to this tool here. So Rufus is a tool that creates the bootable USB stick. Okay, so we click download. So it downloads the Rufus software and we can just follow the instruction here. Press next. Take our USB stick and we put it inside our computer like so. So we open up the Rufus software and we select yes. It looks something like the instructions on the website here. So it says launch Rufus, insert your USB stick and select the correct device in the window here. I see that the language here is in Norwegian. I apologize for that. I guess it takes my language from my system here. Under device here, you select the device you inserted. I only have one USB device here now, so it says 8 gigabytes here, Ubuntu 18. This is the Ubuntu system that's already installed on the USB drive. Just select that and we can go to next here. Now choose the boot selection, and since we are creating a bootable device, we select FreeDOS, I think it's called. Then we select MBR partition scheme. Target system is BIOS or UEFI CSM. So now we press this button here and we select our downloaded Ubuntu file. We click open and you can see that the name here is automatically changed to Ubuntu 20.04 2.0 LTS. We go to next. That's basically it, I think, and we press start here. And on this question we just take the default answer here, write in ISO mode, I think it's called. Press OK. The next question here, we select yes. And then it says that all data will be deleted on the USB stick and we just press OK. Now it's going to format the USB drive, create a file system, and it's going to transfer the ISO file, make it bootable, so you can just plug it into your PC you want to install Ubuntu Linux on. So Rufus is done writing the bootable install drive, and you will get this Windows ding when it's done. So now you can just close the software, and you can go down here and you can eject the USB drive, and we can now remove it from our computer. So I actually planned to have a physical computer standing here on my desk with a monitor connected to it and everything, and plug this in, move the camera, and film the installation process. However, I had some memory issues on that computer, so I'm not able to boot it up, and it just doesn't work. But I'm going to install Ubuntu Linux on a VM, so I'm going to do that on my computer here, and it will basically be the same experience, although you won't see a physical screen or a physical display. It will be virtualized on my PC here. In your case, your next step now, if you have a PC or computer, you plug this in, you start up your computer, and you go into your BIOS, and you have to find your USB drive into your BIOS and select to boot from that device, and then it should start up, and you should get the installation screen, which we are going to go into now. So when you start your PC, you will get the screen looking something like this. It's going to check the disks. Just let it run. So the loading is probably maybe going to take a while. On these installation USB sticks, you can actually boot the system and use the system before installing it to see if you like it. And then you can decide to install the system if you choose to do so. This way you can try out Ubuntu Desktop without having to format some of the hard drives and kind of destroy your files. But in this case, we don't want to do that. We want to do a clean install of the system. So here we have the install screen. As you can see here, you select the language, and then if you want to try Ubuntu or if you want to install Ubuntu. We are going to select English in this case, and we don't want to try Ubuntu, we want to install Ubuntu. If you don't want to do any, as I said, changes on your computer, you don't want to destroy the drives or anything, you can select try Ubuntu and try it out. But we select install. Then we have to select the keyboard, and in my case I'm going to select Norwegian. Now it asks you if you want to have a normal installation or a minimal installation. It's really up to you. I just select a minimal installation because I don't need Office software, games and media players. It also asks you if you want to download updates while installing Ubuntu. I don't see why you shouldn't. It's a good thing. Tick this box, install third-party software for graphics and hardware and things like that. It could be that you may have some hardware in your system that need extra drivers. Click this box to make sure it has all available drivers for your system. Just press continue. Now it says this computer has no detected operating system, and it asks us what we want to do. In this case, we want to erase the disk and install Ubuntu, and this will of course delete all your data on your drive if you have anything there, so you have to realize that, of course. And you also have advanced features here where you can do some other settings. I'm not going into the advanced features. Something else, if you want to do the partitioning yourself, if you want to set the swap size yourself, things like that, we just want to do this the easy way. Select erase disk and install Ubuntu. And install now. Again, do you want to write the changes to the disk? We just press continue. You can select where you live. I live in, well, close enough. Not really, but... And type your name. And we are going to type Chia demo and username Chia, and we will type a password. Since I am going to use this system only in my home network, I am just going to press login automatically. If you're going to have this accessible on the internet, maybe you have to look into that. Security wise, on just my home network, I think that's just fine. And I just press continue. If you have to do some admin tasks on your system, you still have to type your password anyway. So now it's creating the partitions, and it starts copying the files, and this may take a while depending on how fast your internet connection is and how fast the hardware in your system is. Press here, you can see a little log on what's happening actually, and you can just take a coffee or your favorite beverage and sit back and wait. So now it has copied the files, and now it's configuring the system in the background here, going on the internet and looking for updates and updating the system as it's installing it. As you can see here, it's retrieving the files, checking for updates while it's installing. If you're really hardcore, you can also download the Ubuntu Server Edition, where you can install Ubuntu in text mode, and you will be able to do a lot of the same things you're going to do now in Ubuntu Server instead. However, I am trying to do this for the not so technical user. It's just a little bit easier to have a graphical user interface, at least when you're starting out. And when you get more advanced, you can download Ubuntu Server and you can dive into the documentation and install screen, do everything in command line. But not today. Okay, so now it says the installation is complete and you need to restart the computer in order to use the new installation. So you click restart now, and you also may have to remove the USB drive as well. So now the system is going to shut down, and when it's it actually asks you to remove the installation medium and press enter. So we are going to do that. We're going to press enter and remove the USB drive. So now it's going to reboot your computer, and it's hopefully going to start up from the internal drive and start up into Ubuntu Desktop. And since we selected that it should automatically log in, you should be automatically logged into the system when it's started up. Okay, so now we are into our system. It asks us for some online accounts. I'm just going to press skip here and next. And no, I don't want to send any system information. Just press next and done. And now the system is up and running. And what we can do now is go to the Ubuntu software here, make it check if there are some updates to the system. If there are any updates, I recommend you just install those, make it run through all of the installation there, and when it's done, perhaps it has to reboot, then it's basically installed. And I just click update all, and we have to type our password, and it's just going to install the updates, and when that is done, we are ready to continue with the tutorial. So now we have a fresh Ubuntu Linux system installed with all of the updates and everything ready to go. Now we are going to install the Chia Blockchain software onto this system. First thing we are going to do is to open the Firefox web browser, and we are going to go to the Chia website and look at the instructions. So we go to chia.net, and then we go to install Chia Blockchain. Click on that button, and now we get to the instructions here, and I recommend to read through these instructions. If you look at this video like 2 years after I recorded it, there may be changes to what I'm going to do now, so I recommend you always go to the official website and check out the instructions. So what we are going to do now, we are selecting Ubuntu here. So it says follow below install instructions for Ubuntu 20.04 LTS. This is the version we are using, 20.04. So in the instructions it says you have to follow the below install instructions for Ubuntu 20.04. And if you're installing on 18.04, you have to install Python using this line here. But we are not doing that because we are installing on Ubuntu 20.04. So you have to copy this, go to terminal and right click and paste. And you have to type your password. And since we have already updated our system, it won't find that much. And now it says you have to run sudo apt-get upgrade dash yes, and we're going to copy paste that as well. Probably not going to find that much, but you are going to run that anyway. Now we want to install git, sudo apt install git, copy that line, paste it into terminal, and press enter, and it will install git. Okay, it's done. Copy this line here, check out the source and install, back to terminal, and paste, press enter, and let it do its thing. And now it wants us to go into the Chia Blockchain folder. This is what this means. So I'm just going to type cd Chia, and you can press tab to autocomplete. Press enter, and then type sh install.sh. Press enter. It's going to run through some things here. Just let it do its thing. And in the instruction it says you have to type period space periods slash activate. So copy, paste, activate. And you can see that you get this venv thing here before your username here and machine name. And then it says the GUI requires you to have a Ubuntu desktop or a similar windowing system installed. Well, we do that. You cannot install and run the GUI as root, so that's okay. Then we run sh install GUI like so. I just want to mention one thing. Follow the instructions on the Chia website. If you, for example, type sudo sh install GUI.sh, it will not be installed correctly and it won't work. So just follow the instructions on the website here, and it should work. So when you sit and look at this text, you feel like a nerd. So now it's done. We want to copy the next command here, and this is going to place us into this folder here. And then we are going to run the command here, which is hopefully going to start the Chia blockchain or the Chia software. And let's see if it starts up. So Chia blockchain is starting up here, and it asks us to create a new private key or import a already existing one. So if you already have a Chia wallet somewhere else, you can import it here. But in this case, we are just going to create a new private key. And now you're going to get these phrases here. So numbered 1, 2, and 224 here. You have to write down these words. These words are more or less your private key, which will contain your Chia coins. So do not share this one with no one. Just copy it down and keep it for yourself. This is obviously just for demo purposes. There's not going to be any Chia on this one. So click next, and you will get into the wallet when it's finished loading. So now it's going to connect to the internet to synchronize the wallet. This may take a while depending on your internet connection, how fast it is, how your router is configured, if you have forwarded port 844 and things like that. But here is the software running. So now you can go into your wallet, for example, and see your balance. You can go to plots and you can create plots. You can farm if you already have some plots on some other drives or a network drive. You can do that, and you can create new plots from this interface if you want to. So if you quickly just want to make a new plot, you can press add a plot and you choose plot size. Usually people go for K32, 100 gigabytes. You then choose the number of plots you want to create. Let's say you want to create 10 of them, and you want to add them to QE, for example. This is not going to be an advanced plotting guide. It's just showing you how to get going. And then you have some advanced options here where you can select how much memory you want to use and how many threads. But as I said, this is just an easy way of getting your getting you up and running. And then you have select temporary directory. This will usually be a fast SSD, for example, and you click browse and you select the your temporary directory. And in this case I can just go to home, Chia, and we can create a directory called Chia temp, just to select something. We go to OK, and final directory, it's where you are going to store the final plot. This can then be a slower hard drive, it's no problem. And we can just go to home, and yeah, let's just say that we are going to place the file in our home in Chia plot, like so. Okay, and then you click create plot, and it will start plotting, and you can press log here to see what's happening. So now you basically have the Chia Blockchain software installed on a Ubuntu Linux installation. Then obviously it's more to that. It's about SSDs, it's about configuring SSDs, it's about configuring storage hard drives. That's a completely another chapter. I'm going to connect a few external drives to my system down in my basement. I'm going to show you what I do there. But as I said, I recommend going to the Chia website here, the documentation. Here you have a lot of information on how you can dive a little bit more deeper if you want to create plots or if you want to farm from the command line. So now you have the Chia blockchain installed on your Ubuntu installation or your Ubuntu computer. Now you can get going with plotting and farming. I'm going to install 2 new external drives on my system I already have up and running. It's also running Ubuntu Linux. We can take a look at how I format my drives, actually how I share them on the network, and that's going to be the next part. So here is the real Ubuntu server with the external drives. It's not virtualized, and I'm going to plug in these 10 terabyte drives into this computer, and we are going to connect using VNC. We're going to format the drives and share them on the network. Let's unbox these things and let's get going. 2 new Seagate external hard drives connected to the Ubuntu Linux system. Let's go upstairs, connect to VNC, and get the drives up and running. So now I have connected 2 new external hard drives to my system downstairs, and we are going to format them and get them up and running on the network. So I have connected to my server here using VNC, and here it's running plotting, and it's going pretty good. So this installation is in Norwegian. Apologize for that, but you can click on the corner somewhere or press the Windows button and you get this menu up. Just start typing disk and you get this disk icon here, and you will get a list here of the drives in your system. And as you can see here, I have 1 terabyte drive, 480, 1 terabyte, 1 8 terabyte, 2 terabyte, and we have 2 10 terabyte drives. 2 of the drives I just connected to the system. So I have a naming scheme of my drives, which you can see here. They are called plot 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now we are going to create plot 5 and 6. So that's just going to be these drives here. Click on one of these. It's called Seagate Backup Hub something. I'm just going to press the delete the partition here. Yes. And delete this partition here. You just click on it and delete the partition like so. So you just have 10 terabytes of free space. Press the plus sign here, create partition, max 10 terabytes, next. And it's going to be called plot 5. I don't want it to delete because it takes a longer time. And here on type, I'm going to select internal disk for use with Linux systems only, ext4, press create, wait a little while. It starts creating file system and formatting the drive and things like that. And we can go to the next one, 10 terabyte hard drive here. Press delete on this partition and press delete on this partition here, like so. Press the plus sign, 10 terabyte, next. And this is called plot 6. And again, we don't want to delete. And we want to use internal disk for use with Linux systems ext4. Press create and let it do its thing. So where do we find these drives then? Well, they're in the list here, so they are in the system, right? Well, not really. If we go and take a look here, maybe on other locations, you don't really see your drive here anywhere. And if we go into computer, there's nothing here. And that's because we have to mount the drives. And we can do that in different ways. You can mount using the command line, but since we are not that nerdy today, we are using the GUI. So you just select the drive here, the 10 terabyte hard drive, and you click on these cogwheels or something, what it's called. Okay, it's in Norwegian, sorry about that. I think it's called edit alternatives for mounting or something like that. You press this one, disable this, and I select mount when startup and show in user interface. On name it's going to be plot 5, and I'm going to type 10 terabyte. And mounting point, I'm going to go here, and it's going to be plot 5. And that's basically it. And we're going to press OK. We have to type our password, authenticate, like so, and you have to press this play button here. And now the hard drive is mounted under MNT plot 5. And you can find that if you go to your computer here, and then you go to MNT, and you have plot 5 here, and you have the hard drive here. So we are going to do that with the second one. Press the cogwheels here, edit alternatives for mounting, disable that one, select to start mount the drive at startup, and it's going to be called plot 6, and I'm going to say 10 terabytes here, and it's going to be mounted at MNT plot 6. Okay, and type our password, and we press the play button, and now the hard drive is mounted. You can see that it's 10 terabytes and 9.9 free, and the same on this one, 10 terabytes, 9.9 free. And all of the other drives here looks like they're working as they should. Now it's ready. If we go back here to computer and we find the folder MNT, we will see all drives here now. Plot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you can see that plot 3, 4, 5, and 6 are external drives. You see this USB icon, plot 1 and 2, and this one is internal drives. And now I want to do another thing as well. This is just a little bonus thing for you. I want to share this hard drive on the network so that I can access it from my network here. So as you can see here, I can access plot 1 here. I can access plot 2, and yeah, my plots, I can access them here. So what I want to do is I want to just right click and I want to share on local network. I want to share this folder. It's going to be called plot 5, and I want to select allow others to create and delete files. And I also want to select guest access for people without user account. Again, this is just on my internal network at home. I don't really have any issues with the lower security. You have to do this according to your own security needs, things like that. It asks you to add some permissions. Just do that. The same thing on the other hard drive. Share on local network. Share this folder, plot 6, and select these ones. create shared resources. So now if we go to our Windows machine here and we type in the IP address of the server here, you can see we have plot 5 and plot 6. So we can go into them here. It works fine. So I want to add a network drive. So just right click, connect to network drive, just select a number here and like so. And on plot 6, network drive, like so. In Windows, we have 2 new drives here on the network with a drive name, which you can then use in the Chia Blockchain software and store files to it, or copy files to it, or just create folders. So I created a new folder here, and if I go into here, you can see that it's created here. So this was just a little bonus thing for you. So I hope this video helped you get Ubuntu Linux installed on your computer, Chia Blockchain up and running, and maybe you got some hard drives formatted and ready for plotting or farming as well. If you have any questions, you can type them in the comments below. I will try to answer as much as possible, or maybe make a video about it as this one. With that said, if you like this video, please share it with others. That helps a lot, and the like button and subscribing to the channel also seems to help. And yeah, if you like music production and things related to that, and occasionally some nerdy things like cryptocurrency, Linux, and yeah, I don't know what to say. So I think we're going to end it there. Thank you for watching, take care, and goodbye.